Hi, I drew a mock-up of something similar to what you published on Sheaf Talk in terms of the shape. Like, there it is. Now, you said what a carport is. I assume this is going to, I'm guessing now, this is going to be a carport, and this just needs to be covered by the shed roof. But you didn't say that, but it's hard to figure out exactly what you did mean from just what you wrote here. But I'm going to act on what I think I understood, okay? So I'm assuming this is a carport. If I was going to draw a carport, I would use a railing wall. Now, that's not the only way you can do that, but it's a way to get this done. So we'll go to wall, railing wall. So I'm going to enclose the carport. Now, obviously, I don't necessarily want a wood floor or railings. So what I'm going to do is take these two walls and reprogram them to emulate what I do want. We'll go to the rail style and go post to beam. So the posts and beam to hold up the soon to be roofs. And I'm going to get rid of the balusters. And I'm going to these shape boxes here have to do with railing. Okay, now it's gone. And I don't want a post up against the hang on a second, I gotta answer that phone. Okay, so I don't want to post on the ends of these walls, so I'm gonna choose no half post and no half post. It's at the beginning of the wall and the end of the wall. Now I'm going to newels and balusters, and I'm not going to use the falls because the falls cover up these newel posts. So I want to show. I don't want to draw the rails. I just want to draw newels. Okay. Now, on newels and balusters, I want these to emulate. It's just again a designer choice. Make these 4x4s, 3.5. But yeah, and you can see them in plan view this way. There's one here, and there's two here. Of course, this post here. Let me show you. This post here, we don't really want these. No, don't want that one. So I'm going to click on this wall, open it up, go to newels and balusters, and change the spacing to a big number, and it'll get rid of the interceding posts. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Newels and balusters, spacing. And you can give a lower number and just control the spacing, but I just want the interceding post gone. So no post is a wall and only this one post out here. That's what I'm going for. Next thing we're going to do, make this a carport. I'm going to double click on this room here and open it up and give it a name. I'm going to give it, of course, the garage is not a carport, but it's going to use that as a programming command. And over here, it'll be carport. And carports commonly are lower, the floor of the carport is lower than the house, so rainwater doesn't run into the house when it rains heavily. So I'm going to put this at -3. The ceiling is the default ceiling at 9 feet, which I believe is the figure that you mentioned. And then I'm going to set up for a shed roof that starts here, slopes upward, up in that direction, and So over here, it should be at 9 feet because the ceiling is set to 9 feet. And the ceiling height, it's just a little bit more because I dropped the floor. But in terms of the roof, let me go back to plan view. In terms of roof, the default is set to, now this is 9 feet. See, it's 109 and an eighth. And this is a finished ceiling is a little bit lower because to accommodate the thickness of the ceiling finish, see, it's 5/8, and the thickness of the floor finish, which is I think 5/8. So that's the reason it doesn't say it's 108. Okay, so in order to do a shed, you go over here to the build roof dialog, and you can preset the overhang. Let's just make it 6 inches. You can make it more, but whatever is applicable, you make it go there. I'm going to turn gutters off by just removing it there. Right? If you want to add a gutter, leave it there. So up to you. Now I'm going to go over here to roof, and then I'm going to change this to 312. Just to start out. Now, all of that was just to set up the build roof. I'm not going to build roofs right now. Just click OK. Now I'm going to set up for auto roofs. So like this is where the shed starts, this here and here. So I don't need to do anything with that. And then over here, I'm going to open this wall and go to the roof tab and designate this wall the high shed gable wall. High shed gable wall. Okay, next I'm going to take this, and this, these side walls, and tell them to be gable walls. I don't want hips there. I want full gable wall. And the software is not going to read my mind, and I have to go in there and find the proper setting and make the proper setting. Okay, now I got that set up. This is now auto set up for shed roof. I should also point out, see, when I named this a carport, it automatically, by naming it to a garage, it gave it a concrete floor. Okay. Now I'm going to go here. I'm not going to work well. Okay. Now if it's 312, you could put shingles on it. If you go any lower than 312, then you want some other kind of roofing material on there. Anyway, I'm just going to build the roofs. It looks like I got this correct. Now that's goofy. And this is goofy. So I must have missed a setting. I thought I set this to roof tab. See? The software robotically follows whatever I did, and I missed a setting. So let's reset that. And this little problem over here is not a big deal. I'm going to rebuild the roofs again. So there's your 312 shed. There's your carport. Now I got a little bit of a glitch here. And if you go over here to the build roof dialog, there's a tab here, roof styles. And here's a shed roof. You can click on these and it'll open a help article on how you set up for shed roofs. And if you read this, it tells you to do what I did. High shed gable, gable walls, that's a pitch, so forth. Now in this case, okay. That's if you're curious as to where I was getting my data is from this tab here in the build roof dialog. Okay, now I got it pretty close. That's this little roof here. I'm just going to click on it and delete it. That's all I had to do is move it out of the way, and then it filled that in properly. Now, this is 312, which makes that's as flat as I can make it and use shingles. So I'm going to take this and open the dialog on the roof plane and set it to 112. I'll just let it pivot on this. See, it's going to pivot after 9 foot height. That's probably a little bit more realistic. Then you take the roof plane and go to the materials tab and change the ridge cap and roof surface to something more usual. That's usually what I commonly use there is just under landscapes and roadways, asphalt. So it looks like, you know, impervious roofing. Take a look at that. So maybe some of this stuff will help you. Maybe I misunderstood what your intentions are. Yeah. To do this manually, all you have to do is get rid of that. I'm going to go here to the build roof dialog and set the pitch setting to 1. And then with that done and that tool selected right there, I'm going to zoom in and draw, left click and drag a roof baseline. And then just drag it up here, make it 6 inches over, put in -6. Put it 6 over here. -6. Okay. Okay, that should do materials. Again, I didn't set my roof defaults, are set to shingles. So I have to make the material change again. Commonly, when I set up to a project, I set up the defaults relative to what's germane to the project. And then I don't have to change a bunch of stuff after the fact. But anyway, I hope this has helped you. But whether it has or not, you make yourself a great day. And goodbye.